Hi everyone, it's me, Sailor Saturn, and today I want to talk about, the gatekeeping in the Sailor Moon followership, because believe it or not, there is gatekeeping. And the first kind of gatekeeping you meet are folks who, if you're writing tales or you're making films and they don't like what you're making, they'll say that you're besmirching the show. Well, first off, I am not besmirching the show. You see, that's what those gatekeepers think. They think that the only take is their take, and that everyone else's take is wrong. And they want it to be the only take there is. They want it to be Naiko Takaguchi's take. Well, that's her take, and everyone has their own take of how they handle selves and things like that. So saying that besmirch the show, is not the same thing. Because whatever we choose to do on this fairway, films or live streams or shorts or whatever, what we say about ourselves and what we make them do is not besmirching the show. Another thing is you'll have folks who will say, "Oh, well, you need to do your learning." You see, in their mind, these gatekeepers believe that the only way that you know anything about the show is about having, I don't know, likenesses, clips, whatever the hell that they want. But in their mind, that's what they believe. So you think since I don't have songs or likenesses or clips from the drawing show or whatever, in your mind, you think that means I didn't do my learning. Well, I did do my learning. All right? And also, having a belief that, or gatekeeping and saying that we can't call the sailor fighters by their Latin, French, Spanish, Hebrewish, Farsius, Hellenish, these are Blacklandish borrow names. Well, we can if we want to. Because this fairway is offshooted from the Deek world and the Pioneer world, or the Pathseeker world. Or gatekeeping and saying that someone is we're not a true Sailor Moon follower if we watch the Deep Glee Sailor Moon, which is not true, because that was a Sailor Moon that almost everyone in the 1990s, unless they weren't into drawing shows, that was the only offshoot of Sailor Moon that they ever saw. So if it wasn't for the Deek one, then there would have never been no Viz one. So, yeah, there is gatekeeping in the Sailor Moon followership. And also those who believe, also, and also there are folks out there that don't like when you shift things around. Oh, you got to stick to canon. You got to stick to law. You got to stick to the law. What was truly said and what was truly done. But if any of you folks had ever watched the Sailor Moon, and half of you did and half you didn't, you know that they shift that shit around all the time. Oh, okay. You would know that everything gets shifted around. Between the four followings, if you're going by the Deacon Pioneer world or Pathseeker world, or 5, you're going by the Viz world. And also making a big deal about only girls or women can be sailor fighters, and believing that everyone has to follow that. Well, guess what? We don't have to follow that, and we never did follow it. And guess what, folks? Toei broke that oversighted 9 between 95 YL with Sailor Stars, and again with Stars in 2023. So you can't say that, oh, it didn't happen, since it did. All right?